So here's some tips on how to change your life when you don't believe you can. So anxiety sufferers, intrusive thoughts, depression, panic attacks, low moods, procrastination, a lack of drive, struggling to get out of bed, struggling to be around people, struggling to socialise, struggling to communicate, struggling to diet, struggling to come away from your addictions, struggling to follow through on your goals, your dreams and your aspirations. So let's get into it. I'm going to share all the knowledge that I know in this video. Let's see what happens. So I want to talk about the first mistake that a lot of people make that I've seen. I've been mentoring now for over a decade, 12 years or plus, and I've seen this in my own life with people that I've met. And a lot of people make the mistake of, they read a lot of books, even before podcast shows were about, but let's add podcasts. People read books, they watch a lot of podcast shows, they listen to a lot of statistics and studies from science and universities and facts and Googling, etc. And they get opinions from different people. And they get all this knowledge, a lot of this amazing knowledge that a lot of it has been tried and tested and it works. But they fail to actually apply the knowledge because of a lack of honesty, a lack of accountability, a lack of discipline, and obviously not putting that knowledge into practice. So a lot of people will read books on business, but they've never made a call before. They've never made a sale. They've never marketed a product. They've never actually solved a problem on the market. They haven't given value. They've just read lots of books on business. They've listened to a lot of podcast shows and audios, and they've absorbed intellectually the knowledge that these people who have gone out and built a successful business have shared with them. So they've got a lot of knowledge, yeah. They know how to build a business in theory, but they've never actually done it in practice. So their life doesn't change, their finances doesn't change, and their ability to make a positive impact on other people is non-existent. So you've got to be really careful with this, and this is where ego creeps in its most kind of unhealthy way, and pride creeps in, and a lack of courage, because reading a book is comfortable, and listening to an audio and a podcast for the most part is comfortable, and it's quite fast. But going out and facing those fears of starting a business, and all those financial fears, and those social fears, and public speaking, and the fears of being criticised and judged and trolled, that's very different when you've got to face your biology, the fight or flight. When you've got adrenaline in your body and you're scared inside, that's really where all of the learning begins. And obviously it doesn't end there. As you get more experience and more desensitized and no longer afraid of certain fears and anxieties and personal triggers, you feel calm and peaceful until you move on to the next one. So people avoid the practice of exposure therapy because it's difficult, it's painful, it's frightening, it's lonely, it's uncertain, it's extremely challenging mentally and emotionally and spiritually, until obviously one becomes an experienced practitioner. So learning in theory is a very different school to actually learning through experience, through actually doing. So you've got to be very careful not to speak more than you're capable of actually doing, and not to feel proud and better than, or you're doing the same when in truth you're not. Now obviously an even better way to live would be to do both. I've got a lot of clients to do that, and I begin on that journey. Someone that is really well read and has got a lot of it, knowledge intellectually, well studied, well read, brilliant, but they've got massive amounts of experience, of real experience living it. I've taken a lot of action of living it, basically. So if you're not living it, you're not living it. You can lie to as many people as you want, you can lie to yourself, but deep down you're not living it. You can't lie to the truth, especially in this area. So if you're not living it, it would be good to be honest and say, well, I'm not living it at the moment. I've read a lot of books, I've got a lot of knowledge in theory, but I don't have any real world experience. That shows humility. That shows an element of good character, and then you can build on that, and you can change those beliefs by living it. So that's really important for changing your life in any area. Again, it's like someone who has read books on dieting, intermittent fasting, and plant-based diets, or vegetarian, or if it's a meat diet, however we go about it. They've read a lot of books. they've gone on Google, they've got a lot of knowledge, but they're overweight. They actually haven't got the discipline to actually eat a healthy diet. They're eating an unhealthy diet, and they're giving other people advice on how to eat healthy. It's not true, it's not right, it doesn't work. And all you're doing is lying to yourself and others, and that's not going to help you to change your life. That's going to hold you up, right? So if you are doing that, forgive yourself, because at some point we've all done that. Everyone has done that in their life at some stage or another. We've all done that. We've all given unsolicited advice when we're not living it. And we're human, we're not perfect. But we have to stop doing that if we want to change and grow. At some point we've got to learn, right? Forgive yourself, be honest, and build from there. And do both, build up to both. And if you can't do it, get a mentor that can help you, who has lived it and has done it and helps other people to do it. So that's really important. Moving on to the next one, if you want to change your life, you've got to start building discipline. You've got to start from the basics, and that is waking up in the morning, fixing the bed, being thankful, giving thanks, being grateful, cleaning your apartment. That would be a great start, because that does take a lot of discipline and willpower, especially when someone's going through anxiety, stress. Usually people are always going through one challenge or another, even if they haven't got a major anxiety disorder. So fixing the bed, you're going to be ahead of most people. Most people, even people that might be highly successful, I guarantee they might not be doing that. They might dismiss that as not that important. So clean the bed, clean the apartment, keep the place tidy. That is a great way to start changing your life. You're already changing life from doing that. The next one is exercise. Exercise at least once a week, 3 times a week would be even more sufficient. Go for a 30-minute jog, do running. That's all you need to do 3 times a week. Obviously you can go to the gym, do other exercises, but I want to simplify it. So running would be great, or exercising, boxing or weight training or martial arts or any other things I haven't named, swimming. The next one would be to start eating healthy. Start off by eating the basics, fruit and veg, lean meats or fish or plant-based diet or vegetarian, or if you eat meat, if that works for you, do that. Just eat a healthy diet, start with that. So eating a healthy diet, exercising, making sure that you are applying the knowledge that you're reading and you're taking in, which starts off theoretical, in theory. Make it reality by living it and slowly putting it into practice. And next one with changing your life, which is something that a lot of people struggle with, we all do if we're being honest, but you can get much better. Start to reduce the amount that you judge people, especially people that are successful, that are doing better than you, or you might perceive they're doing better than you. They might not be doing better than you. Stop judging people, because every time you do that, you judge yourself. You bring your mood down. And when you do judge, forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up, because sometimes people don't do it on purpose. It's a habit. So we're getting out of these negative habits. Obviously, none of us are perfect. But again, it's about learning from our mistakes, and think about how it makes you feel. Does it make you feel good when you harshly judge other people for their mistakes, their mishaps, or them being better than you? The answer to that question is obviously, in the long run, it doesn't. It might make you feel good temporarily, then it makes you feel down. So be aware of the amount of judging you're doing, work on reducing it. As you get more confident and your life changes, you'll notice that you're less focused on judging and bringing people down. You're more focused on bringing people up, because you generally want to do that. That's from the heart. The next way to change your life is to have the courage and the character to ask for help from people that know more than you. They're smarter than you, they're more successful, they're more disciplined, and they have got more experience. Be respectful, ask them for their help. Don't manipulate them, don't be disrespectful, because people don't like that and they're not going to help you. And if you can, pay for mentorship. When we spend money, we generally value it more. We respect the time more, we show up. So invest. You don't have to invest all your money, that wouldn't be wise. Invest some of your money into getting a mentor, a coach, a therapist, a course, a program. Work with someone that you trust, that feels right for you. Follow your heart, follow your intuition. That is a great way. Another way is for people that don't have money, can't do that. That's fine, it's not an excuse. I didn't have money when I started. Take advantage of the free material. There's thousands of it online. I'm giving you free material right now, this video, the courses, the talks, and appreciate it. If you don't appreciate it, then it's not going to work for you. Appreciation and gratitude is so important, more important than anything I've said throughout this video and all the tips that I've given, which are important. If you don't have appreciation and gratitude, then nothing is ever going to be enough, and you're going to struggle a lot longer until you realize that. So gratitude is so important if you want to change your life. What you're grateful for in your life, and you might have to work on, or you will have to work on gratitude daily until it becomes natural. It's not something that you've got to force or manufacture or hope. You will actually feel it in your own heart. Another great way to improve, to change your life is, be sincere, be kind, be yourself, be honest, respect others, but be yourself, be authentic as best as you can, and don't judge yourself when you can't be authentic, because again, being authentic doesn't mean you're perfect. I'm not perfect. I've worked for years at expressing myself and being authentic. It's taken me years of struggling, years of being awkward, years of covering up, hiding, being afraid. So don't judge yourself. Work at it one step at a time. Practice being a little bit more open with people. Practice being kinder. Practice giving more. Practice being more interested in what people have got to say, as opposed to always forcing your view, how you feel, always wanting approval. So work at giving more by listening more, by being a bit more thoughtful when you're around your friends, your family, or colleagues at work, or even when you're on social media. Work on what can I give as opposed to what can I take. Your life will change faster, your relationships will improve, your confidence, your mental health, when you're more in a giving space as opposed to what can I get. If you give a lot, you're going to receive everything that you want and you could have dreamed of. And these things take time, so the communication is really important. Another thing that's really good, my manager years ago, Michael from Royal Mail, taught me this, helped me. Change what you can change in your life, accept what you can't change, which is not in your control, and be smart enough to know the difference between the two. So I'll give you an example. We can't change people's opinion of us. People can criticize and say unkind things or say really wonderful things, and we haven't got no control over that. But you can change your opinion and how you treat people, what you say when you go online. So a good practice, go online today and say good things about people. It's got to be sincere, obviously, especially people that help you and inspire you. Even leave a comment or in your own thoughts, instead of saying everything negative towards people that you don't like or you don't like what they're saying. Practice discipline with controlling the way that you view people, how you respond, and you'll be surprised to see how much you'll start to like yourself more. You'll have a better relationship with yourself. So these are many of the ways that you can improve. Some other ways that are great, now I want you to take your time and not put pressure, but these are advanced ways. Public speaking is life-changing for changing your life. It will change your life and everyone else's. Traveling to new countries is absolutely life-changing. These are all things that I've done and lived, and I implement and teach, if it's appropriate and right, excuse me, to my committed clients or anybody cares to hear my story and learn. So traveling, public speaking. Another one I think that's great, I think boxing's great, boxing training, martial arts, dancing, singing, some improvisation, some comedy, some meet-up groups, things like that of that nature are so good for changing your life. Changing your fashion is really good. What else is there? I think things like, obviously everyone do it to what works for them. Praying is great. For some people meditation, but I like praying. Obviously everyone's got their own personal faith, and I always respect that, and that's important, right? So follow your own heart. I found it to be really life-changing. Nature is great, lakes, plants. I love being around nice animals, cats, dogs, being loving, being around animals, all that kind of stuff. That'll be it for today, because I've covered a lot. Let me know in the box below extra things that you found that changed your life, and try and make sure that you have lived these things. These are things that you haven't read in a book but you haven't done yet. Try and share things with people that you've done. If you haven't done enough yet, that's fine. You're already supporting by, you know, putting out good energy, good thoughts and things like that on the channel. And yeah, to be continued, right? Thank you for coming on the video. Hope that you get a lot out of it. Appreciate the support. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.